The morning wind bites across Redwillow Plains. Dust rolls like smoke over the fence line. Inside the Carter ranch house, a door slams hard enough to rattle the nails. "Get your things," Abel Carter growls. His face is red, jaw working against a plug of tobacco. "We're done here. June." June stands near the hearth, hands clutching her faded shawl. She's 20, heavy-set, 7 months along. The smell of hay and smoke mixes with the taste of shame in her throat. "Pa, please, don't you pa me." He spits into the fire. "You made your bed. Now lie in it somewhere else." She trembles. "Where will I go?" Abel doesn't answer. He yanks the front door open. Out. Outside, the mule waits, harness creaking. The sky is a pale sheet of iron. June climbs into the wagon slow, every step a negotiation with her swollen belly. Abel takes the reins without a glance. The wheels jolt forward, cutting through the dust road that leads west. They ride for hours, no words, only the squeal of wood and the moan of wind. The land spreads empty, scrub, sage, a lonely cottonwood. When he finally stops, June blinks against the sun and sees it. A weathered cabin, a few fences, smoke from a small fire. A man stands near the corral, tall as a gatepost, shoulders broad, hat brim low. "That him?" Abel mutters. The man nods once. "Sam Holler." His voice is deep, calm. Abel climbs down. "You said you'd take her." Sam's eyes shift to June. Not judging, just looking. "I said I'd give her shelter." "Same thing," Abel snaps. He jerks his thumb toward the wagon. "She's yours now. Don't come crying to me when she eats your pantry bare." June feels the sting in her chest. "Pa," he cuts her off. "You shamed this family. I wash my hands of you." Abel swings up onto the wagon, snaps the reins, and rides off without looking back. Dust swallows him whole. Silence drops heavy. June stands frozen beside her bag. The wind lifts her hair, carries away the sound of hooves. For a long breath, she doesn't move. Then Sam steps forward. "You can rest inside," he says. She hesitates. "Why did you agree to this?" He shrugs lightly. "Because someone had to." The cabin smells of cedar and dry earth. One room, a table, a bed, and a small stove still warm. Sam sets a cup of water on the table. "You'll be safe here." June's throat burns. She lowers herself to the chair, fingers shaking. "Safe," she repeats softly, like it's a word she hasn't earned. He nods once, then steps outside, closing the door with quiet hands. June sits there, staring at the cup. The wind hums through the cracks. She presses a hand to her belly, feeling a faint kick beneath her palm. For the first time in months, the sound she hears isn't shouting or breaking glass. Just the wind. Just breath. Just the faint beat of life. And somewhere outside, a farmer named Sam Holler walks through the dusk, wondering how a girl like her ended up in a world this cruel, and how he'll keep her safe in it. Morning slides over Redwillow Plains in thin gold light. The grass shivers with dew. Inside the small cabin, June wakes to the sound of boots outside and the low breath of cattle beyond the fence. For a second, she doesn't know where she is. Then the smell of fresh bread hits her. Sam Holler moves slow around the stove. He wears a clean white shirt now, sleeves rolled up, a line of sunburn crossing his neck. On the table, 2 plates wait, eggs, bread, a tin cup of milk. He doesn't look at her when he says, "You can eat." June pushes herself up, the blanket sliding from her knees. "You cooked?" "Someone had to." His voice stays flat, but not cold. She waddles to the chair, sits careful. "Thank you." He nods, takes his own plate, eats without noise. Outside, a rooster calls once, sharp and distant. For the first time in months, no one curses, no one spits. The silence is heavy, but not cruel. After breakfast, Sam grabs a bucket and heads toward the barn. June follows to the porch, one hand resting on her belly. The wind smells like earth after rain. She watches him move, steady, deliberate, the way someone works when everything they have depends on their hands. He glances back once. You can sit there if you want. She finds an old rocker by the door. It groans under her weight, but it holds. The mule snorts in the yard. Sam leads it toward the trough, pours water slow. June notices the way he talks to the animal, soft, steady, as if words might calm the world. By noon, the sun burns hard. Sam carries in a basin of warm water. For your feet, he says. She stares at it, then at him. You don't have to. I know. He sets it down anyway. June dips her swollen feet into the water, sighing when the warmth spreads. Dust clouds the basin. She looks up to thank him, but he's already gone back to the field. Later, when he returns, she's fallen asleep on the porch chair. Her head tilts back, hand resting on her belly, lips parted in half a smile. Sam stops by the gate, watching for a heartbeat longer than he should. Something in her quiet breaks the hard edge of the day. At dusk, he brings a bowl of stew and sets it on the table inside. You should eat before dark. June blinks the sleep from her eyes. You don't talk much. He shrugs. Talking never fixed much. She studies him a moment. Why live out here alone? Because it's easier to fight the weather than people. The answer hangs between them. She nods, eyes dropping to her bowl. The stew is simple but warm, thick with beans and carrot. It tastes like safety. When night falls, Sam spreads a blanket on the floor by the fire. You take the bed. You need it more. June hesitates. Where will you sleep? Here. He lowers himself onto the boards, eyes already closing. Rest, June. Morning comes early. The fire cracks. The wind hums. June lies awake in the bed, the baby turning softly inside her. She thinks of her father's voice fading into dust, of the word Sam used that morning, safe. She whispers it once into the dark, as if saying it might make it true. Safe. And for the first time, she almost believes it. Days roll slow across Redwillow Plains. The sun rises. The wind shifts. The cattle call low through the valley. June starts to learn the rhythm of the farm. She wakes when the rooster does, her body heavy but willing. She folds blankets, sweeps dust, and feeds the chickens with clumsy hands that grow steadier each morning. Sam never tells her what to do. He just works, plowing, hauling hay, mending fence. Sometimes she watches from the porch. Sometimes she follows at a distance, the smell of grass and feed thick in the air. You don't have to, he says once when he catches her lifting a water bucket. I can. She grunts, shifting her weight, determined. He doesn't argue, just takes the other side of the handle and helps her carry it to the trough. When she trips on a loose board, he catches her elbow. The touch startles her. No one's held her like that in months, gentle, careful, without disgust. You all right? I am. She pulls her arm back, heart fluttering. That night, she eats in silence, but the air between them feels warmer. Sam sits by the fire sharpening his old knife. June mends a torn blanket. You ever get lonely? She asks. He looks up once, thinking. Sometimes. But the quiet don't lie. She nods. I used to be scared of quiet. Then you're learning, he says. The next morning, she hums while washing dishes. It surprises even her. The tune is small, like something from childhood. Sam glances over but says nothing. Later, he brings her a handful of wild flowers, yellow, white, purple. Found these by the creek. She takes them, eyes wide. For me? They don't belong to anyone. She puts them in a tin cup on the table. The cabin feels different after that, less like shelter, more like home. Toward evening, a rider appears on the ridge, dust curling behind his horse. June freezes by the window. The man reins up at the fence, grinning. Heard you took in the Carter girl. Sam, he calls out. Fat one with a bastard on the way. June's breath catches. Sam walks out of the barn, slow, steady. You rode far to talk foolish. The man smirks. Just saying, people like you go soft. They start to lose respect. Sam's hand rests on the fence rail. His voice drops low. You're talking on my land. The man laughs, but it dies quick when Sam lifts the rail clean from the post, thick wood cracking in his grip. The horse rears, dust flying. You done? Sam asks, quiet as thunder. The rider mutters something and wheels his horse around, vanishing over the rise. June stands at the doorway, tears stinging her eyes. I'm sorry, she says. I didn't mean to. Sam raises a hand. You didn't cause him. He came to see what kind of man I am. Now he knows. She can't speak. Her chest feels too tight, too full. That night, while he sleeps by the fire, June stares at the ceiling, hands pressed to her belly. The baby shifts beneath her ribs. She whispers into the dark, we're safe. Outside, the wind moves through the grass, and for the first time since she left home, she smiles without fear. The sky turns the color of bruised steel over Redwillow Plains. Clouds roll in thick from the west, stacking one upon another until the whole horizon looks ready to break. The air feels tight, humming. Even the cattle grow restless, tails swishing, heads low. June stands on the porch, one hand braced against the post, the other pressed to her belly. The wind catches her hair and whips it across her face. It's coming, she murmurs. Inside, Sam moves through the small cabin with steady rhythm. He shuts the shutters, checks the lamp oil, pulls feed sacks away from the stove. It'll pass, he says, but his voice sounds more like a promise to himself. When the first crack of thunder hits, it rattles the cups on the shelf. June jumps, then doubles over with a sudden pain that steals her breath. Sam, he's beside her before she can straighten. Tell me. It's starting. The words barely come. Sweat beads along her temple. He helps her to the bed near the fire, stacking pillows, dragging a kettle onto the flame. Breathe, June. Slow. Rain hammers the roof so hard it drowns his words. The wind moans through the cracks, shaking the door on its hinges. She clutches the blanket, her face pale, every contraction sharper than the last. You're all right, he says. You're stronger than this storm. Lightning flares, white across his eyes, and for a heartbeat she sees him clearly, broad shoulders, worry etched deep but steady hands moving with purpose. Another wave hits. She cries out, raw and frightened. He grips her hand, grounding her. Look at me. She does. The world narrows to the sound of their breathing. Pain. Thunder. Her own heartbeat. Time folds. She loses count of the hours. Sometimes he wipes her brow with a damp cloth. Sometimes he feeds the fire. Sometimes he just stays there, murmuring things she can't even catch, words that sound like prayer. Then, through all that noise, another sound rises, thin, piercing, new. A baby's cry. Sam exhales, shoulders sagging. You did it, June. He lifts the tiny bundle from the folded blanket. the firelight catching the child's face. A girl, he says softly. Strong lungs, too. June sobs once, half laugh, half disbelief. Let me see her. He places the baby in her arms. Warm, damp skin. A heartbeat against her chest. June stares, unable to breathe. 10 perfect fingers, fists curled tight. She's beautiful. Sam kneels beside the bed. She's alive. That's enough beauty for now. Outside, the storm rages on, rain drumming like hooves across the roof. But inside, the air turns golden, the fire crackling gentle. June strokes the baby's cheek. Grace, she whispers. Her name is Grace. Sam nods once. Grace suits her. She looks up at him, eyes wet. And you stayed. Where else would I be? He takes the cloth, wipes her face, careful not to wake the child. Rest now. June shakes her head weakly. Why do you care so much? He glances toward the window, where lightning fades into soft rain. Because nobody ever cared when I needed it. He turns back, voice low. And I swore I'd never let that happen again under my roof. Her throat tightens. She reaches for his hand, rough and calloused, and presses it to her cheek. You kept your word. Hours drift. The storm slows. The wind sighs out. Sam dozes in a chair near the hearth, boots still on, rifle leaned against the wall. June lies awake, the baby breathing steady on her chest. Every so often, she hears thunder far away, like an old memory leaving. When dawn finally comes, the world outside glitters. The plains shine silver with rainwater. Sam opens the door, letting the light spill in. Mist curls over the fields like smoke. June sits up slowly. Her hair's a mess, her dress torn at the shoulder, but her eyes, clear, alive. The baby stirs and yawns. Sam turns, smiling faintly. Morning, June. Morning. She glances toward the open door. It's beautiful. It's yours now, he says. All of it. You earned the sunrise. She laughs softly, tears glinting in the new light. No, we did. The baby shifts, tiny hand curling around June's finger. Outside, the sky clears blue over the soaked fields, and the world begins again. The sun burns clean over Redwillow Plains. 3 days have passed since the storm. The earth still smells of rain, and the cattle graze calm again. June sits on the porch, baby Grace asleep in her arms, wrapped in Sam's old flannel. The world feels soft for once, like it's learning how to forgive. A shadow moves on the ridge. Hoofbeats carry through the grass. Sam steps out from the barn, jaw tight. Rider, he says. June's stomach drops. Even before she sees the man, she knows. Abel Carter rides the same old mule, hat pulled low, pride holding his spine straight. He reins in at the gate. You, he calls. I've come for my daughter. Sam doesn't move. She's right here. Abel's eyes find June on the porch, and his face twists. You look worse than the stories, girl. June's arms tighten around Grace. This is my home now, Pa. Home? His voice bites. You think living in sin with this man is home? Sam steps forward, calm but solid. Careful how you talk in front of the child. Abel glares. She's mine. She'll come with me. June rises, legs trembling but voice steady. You left me, Pa. You gave me away. I was saving you from yourself. No, she says, her tone sharper now. You were saving yourself from shame. The silence after hits harder than thunder. Abel looks at her belly, at the baby in her arms. That child's a stain on our name. June breathes slow. Her name is Grace. and she's the only pure thing I've ever known. Sam shifts closer, boots sinking in wet dirt. You should leave now, Abel. You don't tell me. I do, Sam says, voice low but final. You gave her up. That's done. You cross this fence again. You'll regret it. For a heartbeat, Abel's rage flickers with something else. Fear, maybe shame. He looks at his daughter one last time, sees she's no longer the girl who begged at his door. Then he turns his mule around and rides off, dust swallowing him the way it did once before. June stands there, shaking. Sam touches her shoulder. You all right? She nods, tears falling but her chin high. Yes. For the first time, I am. He glances at the baby. Grace, too. June smiles through tears. Grace, too. Weeks pass. The fields bloom yellow with wildflowers. June moves slower now, but lighter, her laughter carrying across the pasture. People in town stop whispering when they see her. They say the farmer from Redwillow took in the broken girl and turned her life around. But that's not the truth. The truth is simpler. They saved each other. On a warm spring morning, June and Sam stand beneath a cottonwood tree. No preacher, no crowd, just the wind, the baby, and the sound of life returning. Sam slips a silver band, hammered by his own hands, onto her finger. You sure about this? He asks. June nods, smiling. I was sure the day you stayed. He kisses her, gentle, and the baby stirs between them. Somewhere out on the plains, a lark calls. The sky stretches wide and blue, the same sky that once watched her fall, now watching her rise. June looks at her new family and whispers, We made it. Sam grins. And we're just getting started.